The Marshall Square Great Escape. On the 11th of August 1963, two 90-day political detainees, Moosa Mosie and Abdulhay Jassat, and two members of the ANC leadership, Arthur Goldreich and Harold Wolpe, made a daring escape from Marshall Square Police Station in Johannesburg. Instrumental to their plan was a friendship they cultivated with a young warden, Johannes Greef.
Instead of locking me in, he came into the courtyard and he sat looking miserable. So I said to Greef, "What are you so sad about?" He said, "You know, I borrowed my friend's motor car and I had an accident and I have to fix it and I don't have any money." So I said, "Well, I'll give you the money."
The ANC made money available to bribe Greef. The men knew he could betray them, but they went ahead with their escape plan anyway.
It was Mosie Moolla who was given the task of negotiating with Greef, and he started out saying, "I'll offer you £1,000. Then he went to 2 and eventually settled on 3.
And Greef did the job. He helped them, he opened the gates for them, knocked himself out, and they got out.
And then we came into the parking lot and very carefully opened this gate, and I looked at a night watchman, and he's sleeping directly opposite in this narrow street. And as I opened this and saw him, all the lights around this street went out. So I pushed them behind me, and I remember waiting for the shooting to begin. I'd seen too many movies. Nothing happened.
The fugitives moved from safe house to safe house in Johannesburg to evade capture before getting out of the country. Harold and Arthur traveled to Swaziland, while Mosie and Abdulhay split up.
We had come out of South Africa in a brand new red motorcar with Harold and I and a sack of oranges in the boot of this motorcar, breathing through what had been the cover of a loudspeaker in the motorcar.
They said, "What is the best way of getting out?" To disguise us as brides, you know. So I had a wig on and a Punjabi, and at the border I took that off, and
we were dressed as priests, Harold and I. We flew out from Swaziland.
Harold and Arthur went to Bechuanaland and then traveled via the Congo to Tanzania. Abdulhay made it to Tanzania in October, and then it was just Mosie who still had to get out.
The ANC was making plans to get this plane chartered. We flew over to Mbeya. It's a border town between Zambia and Tanzania. And the following day, we flew over to Dar es Salaam. And that was one of the happiest moments of my life.
Harold and I got into an airplane in Tanzania to fly to Britain as Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. And the air hostess came with a smile and a wink and said, "Who is the Mrs.?"
After the capture and imprisonment of most of the top ANC leadership, the Marshall Square Great Escape kept the spirit of resistance alive and provided a moment of triumph for the South African liberation struggle.